I actually went to Italy recently and brought with me an Amazon Echo, one of the small ones,
Hmm.
to my sister because I had already purchased one for my wife that she uses, and I won this one at a conference. And and it's not very expensive; it's $30 or something, but still. And I brought it to my sister's house, and when she hooked it up and we started using it, it instantly started speaking in Italian because
Hmm.
it knew its location.
Mm,
And I thought that was
cool.
interesting, but then I also decided to try something. I asked the Echo in English. I asked, um, "How are you today?" And using her name, and she responded in Italian, a very interesting phrase. She said, in Italian, she said, "I am well today, thank you. But I really prefer speaking in Italian. It's such a beautiful language, very nuanced. Even though I was born in Seattle, in Washington State, I really prefer speaking
Wow.
Italian." And I thought, wow, that somebody put some thought into
That's
that,
fun.
and that's really the
Yeah.
same kind of thing that we're talking about here when we're talking about building these chatbots to anticipate this sort of thing. And the beauty of it is when the Echoes first came out, they were a lot dumber. They gotten smarter over
Yeah.
time
Hmm.
because that's exactly the same mechanism that's used for chatbots. The first time you introduce one, you may not have thought about anticipated all the possible inputs and things that people might say to it or type into it, if depending on the mechanism used. But as you start to see that, and there's all these analytics behind it, so you can start to look at, oh, look what people are typing or what they're saying, and then you improve it. And it's not that hard to improve these things day by day, week by week, month by month. Next thing you know, this thing has gotten really smart. It's able to anticipate a lot of things. So, yeah, that's a good example of something that they probably anticipated. Some smart aleck asking in English
Hmm.
when they're in Italy. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for that. The other thing we're excited about too, when you talk about them getting smarter and smarter, is they help you get smarter and smarter as a learning professional because of the analytics that are just native to the technology and the fact that it's already baked in. So you can see what questions people asked. You can put questions in to ask, was this answer helpful to you? You can see what paths they go down in a scenario. And so all of that starts to build a really robust set of information, and you can use it to tweak the chatbot really on a daily basis if you want to. And Joe, I know you've done a lot of thinking about that, so you might want to add some more specifics there about how people are going to do that.
Well, you're absolutely right. One of the things that is lacking in typical e-learning. We have SCORM, we have XAPI, we have other ways of seeing, how people are doing in their courses, but we really don't have any very natural, what's the word I'm looking for here, very organic, natural way of, of of communicating with learners. We're basically just seeing the results of them taking a course or a lesson somewhere. We're not, did they do well? Did they do badly? That sort of thing. But when you're talking about a chatbot, you're talking about a very in real time, very organic type of back and forth. The feedback going back and forth. So when they communicate with a chatbot, it's amazing how much more information you can get from that than just looking at the stats coming out of an LMS or a learning record store. So it's really fun stuff, but also really really insightful. And as Marty said, it helps us become better and better as well because we can actually see what is the on the minds of these learners rather than just looking at the results of what they might have done using our canned learning. Nothing wrong with, by the way, with that. It's still necessary, but to be able to incorporate this element into that can lead to lots more insight than you could possibly get just without it.